Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the most amazing YouTube channel in the history of the entire galaxy, the Potato Jet channel, starring Gene, Sam, and Dylan.
Thank you, Dylan.
I tried.
Now, if you could shut the up, I got a video to do.
I think he did a good job.
Okay.
Don't boost his ego.
He needs to express himself, Gene. We talked about this.
No.
You just spread my wings.
Today we're talking about Super Bowl commercials, which is the biggest sporting event that is viewed in the USA. But it is a big deal because it's the type of commercials that get produced when you have the biggest budgets to deal with. I mean, just to air them, it's $5.5 million this year. Last year it was $5.6 million. And that doesn't include the production of the commercial, and it's only for 30 seconds.
Yeah, Jeep was 120 seconds.
120 seconds, 2 whole minutes.
I feel broke right now.
$22 million just to run it. And then how much did they pay Bruce Springsteen to be in it too?
Actually, they had to pull that ad because they found out he got a DUI back in November.
Oh, okay. So they're like, we don't want him driving our Jeep in commercials anymore.
Probably doesn't look good.
He's like, this is why I don't do commercials. And on the contrary, would be something like Reddit. Just one 5-second ad. That's crazy. I'd be curious how much they had to pay for that 5-second ad. But I always find it interesting to see what companies do when they're like, okay, here's a crazy amount of money. Go make something amazing. This is what they come up with. What was the one that stuck out the most to you guys?
That Oatly commercial that just kind of contrasted everything that we just said.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good one.
Made for humans.
Dude, imagine just showing up and he's like, yeah, this is a commercial that we want to play. This one right here.
You sure you want to play this for $5.5 million? Yeah, this is the one. How much did you spend on the actual video? But genius, like one location,
One person.
and he's the CEO of the company. All the residuals go straight back to him. There.
There's this phrase, keep it simple, stupid. That's simple, stupid.
No lighting too. You could tell by the lighting on his face that there was no silk or anything like that. And they do a zoom out, which isn't perfectly smooth either.
It's
So
a little choppy.
I don't think they did it on a servo. They just some guy just zoop, and then cut to one ultra wide angle, cut back to him, and then cut to your close up with your end tag. And that's it. 4 shots.
Boom. Done.
Easy. You could have shot that commercial in 10 minutes.
Yep.
This actually aired in Sweden in 2007 during primetime TV there. But they got sued by like the Swedish dairy companies. And then basically they just recycled it and then aired it now.
That means that they didn't even have to film it this year. They filmed it a while ago. So
Yeah,
it's been
this isn't even new.
They're just like, let's just pull out some janky old commercial we shot back in 2007 and run it. It's interesting because when you go so low budget like this and so simple, then it actually works as a strategy, you know? If you're gonna spend over $5 million on a commercial, you spend a lot of time thinking about which one it is. And this is where they landed, which I think is really fascinating. But
They
that's a
stood
strategy.
out by not standing out.
Exactly. Mr. Beard Boy says, I really like the Alexa commercial with Michael B. Jordan. What you guys think of that one?
Actually, that was one of my favorites.
Yeah?
It's just flawless, isn't it?
I think so.
I mean, I literally couldn't imagine a more beautiful vessel for Alexa to be.
I really like the setup, how they introduced Michael B. Jordan. And that's kind of like a little hint at his new movie as well, as also setting up the commercial.
Oh, because this is movie on Amazon Prime?
So it's like an ad within an ad, an adception to his new show and or movie.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense for Amazon because it's like they own so much. Amazon's going to take over the world probably. I have one share in Amazon. I'm hoping that that's going to pay for my kids' college.
Turn on the sprinklers.
Honey, I already ran the sprinklers. Things are getting way too wet around here.
Alexa, dim the lights.
I think a lot of things work. Like, that was hilarious. Like, Alexa dim the lights and he does it by taking his shirt off. But yet in the other shot, he has his shirt on and he's in the bathtub. That's, like, funny to me. And then I like how, like, the husband is all pissed and annoyed the whole time.
What I've been reading is that this did really well with, women from 36 to 49 and men from 21 to 35. The one demographic that didn't as much was men 36 to 49. This one guy is quoted as saying, crosses too many lines for a TV ad that will be viewed by children. So it's like, yeah, you probably didn't like it.
Am I the only one that feels bad for that dude right there? Yeah. He's getting played so hard. Do you think they shot this Alexa commercial on the area Alexa? I would think so. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Like, look at the colors. It looks so nice. They go from this kind of cool blue environment to all of a sudden just warm warm and just cozy. Another comment, favorite was the no cow's milk commercial. See, so this is actually people's favorite commercial. Imagine being like Bud Light, and it's like, we spent $50 million on this commercial, and there's no cows one. Everyone's talking about it.
It's like, we had Post Malone. Yeah. They had some guy.
My favorite Super Bowl commercial was the GM electric car commercial. It had Will Ferrell, the SNL dude, and Aquafina. I think that might be one of my favorites too. I love Will Ferrell.
Yeah, it's really good because I feel like a lot of other commercials, they tried really hard to be funny, but on this one, like Will Ferrell's just doing his thing. He's naturally funny.
I heard Will Ferrell's done Super Bowl commercials for free, but I bet you he made a crazy amount in residuals. I mean, that's where it's at, the residuals. That's where the real money is. Like, I used to do background work as an extra, so I literally just stand in the background. So I got paid, I think it was minimum wage. I think it was $64 for an 8-hour day then. But then you join a union, and then you can get it up to like a little over 100 or 135 if you're SAG, which is the Screen Actors Guild. But if you're in a commercial, I think base pay is like $300. But I had this friend who was in a Verizon commercial, I think, or maybe it was AT&T or whatever. But he was in the background, but for a split second, he kind of has a foreground cross where you can clearly see his face. So then he reaches out to SAG, so the Screen Actors Guild, and it's like, hey, can I be like a feature talent here instead of background? And then they ended up bumping him. And just out of residuals, he made like $17,000 over the course of a couple weeks.
Dude, actually, me and Chris are trying to get in the commercial game.
That'd be crazy.
Like, we're gonna make headshots, we're gonna do a little resumes, and hopefully I'm in the next commercial.
If you say like one word in a national commercial and it gets a lot of plays, oh man, you'd be set for a long time.
I'll just be working for you for fun now.
Yeah.
I think another one I liked a lot was the Doritos one with Matthew McConaughey.
The 3D one?
Yeah, I thought that was just very visually arresting. And, you know, it kind of keeps you curious and like, why is this dude look so weird?
Oh, when this came on, I think we looked at each other and was like, is this a drug commercial?
Yeah.
Right? Didn't they used to do
It's like
that?
marijuana ones. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, it probably is.
Like, this is Susie.
Yeah.
She's different when she's on marijuana.
Yeah. Especially the shot with the couch. That's exactly how the marijuana one happened.
It actually took me until Matthew McConaughey actually started talking to know that was Matthew McConaughey. Because it doesn't look like him.
Now I want those chips again.
That actually does look pretty tasty. All our commercials so far have been comedy, right?
Yeah.
And that's just a trend of the Super Bowl. And generally, if I'm watching the Super Bowl, I'm looking for funny stuff.
Yeah. You know, you're drinking a couple of beers and you're eating, like you're trying to have a good time. You don't want to feel things.
What do you guys think was the best commercial that was not comedy?
I think the Chipotle one.
Chipotle?
Yeah, I think that one resonated with me. So I think this one was good because it's told by like a kid's perspective and it's very hopeful and very digestible. It's like taking down this like complicated process that Chipotle is doing now and like doing it into something digestible, and they use a kid to like kind of explain it, which I thought worked really well.
Explain it to me like I'm 5. Right?
Yeah.
Literally.
Oh, look at this shot here, though. That's
that one's
some
nice.
Crazy vintage anamorphic look right there. Look at that background. Oh, you get a little bit of anamorphic flair right there with the kid running. And I'm hungry now. Should we order some Chipotle right now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Literally? Okay, yeah, let's do it. Dylan, you down?
Do they sponsor Chipotle? We wish.
Favorite commercial was Shaggy and Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis. It wasn't me.
You know what? That one had so much potential, but it kind of fell flat for me. I didn't really like it.
Did you steal my Cheetos again?
Just tell him it wasn't you.
But I caught you at the counter.
Wasn't me.
Saw you snacking on the sofa.
Yeah, it's just Ashton Kutcher singing just...
Yeah, that kind of ruined it.
You even had him in the shower.
It was just a little off for me. I was like, oh, I couldn't get into it.
Caught you on camera.
Had potential to be great, but Shaggy killed it because not only was he doing like kind of like similar to something, but he was explaining what hot Cheetos are.
She emptied that bag. Let's review the situation. Orange fingers, red flag.
So Shaggy killed it. Mila Ashton, as much as I love them, there's one that I really liked, and that was the Huggies commercial. Somebody's talking to this baby and introducing them to the world, and then you don't really know who it is, and then it's like the Huggies, and it's like, well, we got your back, baby. Even like the whole slogan works. It's just like a really good commercial.
I actually want to check out the exposure on this video because one of the trends has been to start underexposing. It's actually really interesting to pull some of these into Premiere or whatever and look at the waveforms of it because they really put a lot of exposure in a spot where you might traditionally look at it and be like, that's really dark. But with a camera like an Arri Alexa, which I'm going to assume they shot this on, you get so much detail down there in the shadows that you can just shove everything in that corner and it looks really good. Like, doesn't it look nice? And
Yeah, and it looks a lot more natural because this is like how I see my house.
It's very cinematic. You know, all the lighting is well motivated. Like here, I think a lot of people would have put a key light on them, but here, I think they really toned down the key light.
Yeah,
on this.
everything's really motivated by like the windows and doors.
Yeah, like I love it because it's very cinematic cinematography, which is oftentimes pretty different from commercial cinematography. Because commercial cinematography, everything has this kind of polished look, but I always appreciate it when they give it a really theatrical look and really bring everything down. Richard's favorites are the Amazon Alexa, Cadillac / Son of Edward Scissorhands, and State Farm / Drake. Edward Scissorhands, the nostalgia is one of the genres that you analyzed, right?
Yeah, there's Sesame Street. There was the Tide commercial with Jason Alexander.
That's always an emotional chord that you can pull, go back into the old school. State Farm with Drake. I thought it was actually interesting that they used the concept of Drake being his stand-in. Like, does everyone know what a stand-in is? I did assume that's more of a niche thing to our industry.
Or maybe it's one of those things that it just comes off as like maybe it's self-explanatory. If this guy is the host and this guy a stand-in, he's just the other guy that's supposed to stand in.
Yeah, and so you have your main actor, and while you're setting up your lighting and cameras and all that, you can't just expect your star to just sit there and be patient for that whole time. So the stars always go and hang out in the trailers while the stand-ins that just roughly look like the star will just stand in for the cameras. And then at the last minute, they just swap out the stand-in for the actors. So that's what a stand-in is. But yeah, I thought that was kind of an interesting concept. And of course, when you have Drake in there, that's always funny. For real though, I am excited to try this 3D Dorito
They're
thing.
delicious.
Is it good?
Yeah.
I've never tried it.
Had it when I was in like 4th grade.
Also, our burritos are here. I got a steak burrito. What'd you guys get?
I got a bowl.
You got a bowl?
Yeah.
I got some guac and chips too. That's where it's at, man.
Is there anything else with that? Because I just got sofritas bowl, but I thought there was like other stuff that comes with it.
Oh my god, you didn't add any of the stuff?
It only said one required, which is the protein, and then it's like,
Yeah, it was the only requirement. But then you go in and you say, I want rice. Did you just straight up get...
oh well.
Anyways, that's all we got. That was fun, huh? Dylan, you want to close it off for us?
And now the end is here, and the video is gonna end.